message was really not supposed to be preached today. I was going to do part 2 on the blame game. I didn't get through that last week. I want to get through the blame game, but God just sort of redirected at the last moment and in final preparations I was making for Sunday school. We're going through the Gospel of John, and we're in John chapter 7. And as I was preparing the lesson on a verse in Gospel of John, that just sort of began to just grow and just begin to develop into what God says. I want you to preach that on Sunday morning. I want you to preach that this morning, Sunday morning, to the people. And I'm really excited about the message today. It's a really helpful. Hopefully all of them are helpful, but today's is going to be a really helpful message for us. It's going to be it's a message you have to on purpose. You can't go back from today backwards because you're going to leave discouraged and disappointed. And you're going to beat yourself up and be upset. So the message is not for you to take from here back, but it's a message for us to take from here forward. And it's really going to encourage us. It's really going to help us. It's going to change how we look at life and the different issues and circumstances, situations that we have to go through in life. We saw in the verse that the Bible says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. With each passing day of our lives, and over the duration of our lives, I think the longer that we live, the more valuable, don't you think, and the more cherished time becomes. And as a young person, we look back and we understood time and things, but not nearly as valuable, not nearly as cherished, not nearly as significant and important as time is today. And maybe not just with the years of life, but I look down at others of us around the room and maybe just with the near tragedies of life. You begin to realize the brevity of time and the value of time. When you go through a life and death situation and it just sort of hanging in the balance and then you realize, wow, time is brief and time is fragile and all those different things that comes with that. The old expression, time is money, is not really completely accurate because time is really more valuable than money because theoretically you can make more money if you've lost it. But you can never go back and redo time. And that's why the message today is, I don't want you to, on purpose, you've got to prevent Satan from taking this. This is going to be a really good, helpful message for all of us, but it's going to really be detrimental to you if you don't bring into thought your focus, your thoughts here today, because the devil's going to want you to go back of all the wasted time and wasted life and wasted opportunities that you've had, that we've all had, and dwell on that and miss what God wants us to get from here forward in our lives. And so I need your help to really on purpose be determined on that, really focus on that, because you're going to find yourself wanting to be drawn back into the past, because each of us and every one of us have a lot of regrets. We've wasted a lot of time. And we can go back and say, well, I got saved later in my life, or I got saved and then I strayed away for years, or I didn't do this, I had the wrong priorities here, I had the wrong focus here, I had the wrong this. And so we can all go back, and so we're all in even company here today saying, you know what, I've wasted opportunities, I've wasted time, I've wasted my life in so many areas of my life, but I don't want us to go that way this day and or any day. The Bible says, forgetting this one thing I want you to do, forgetting those things that are behind and pressing forward on the things that lie before each and every one of us. So time is something that none of us can ever get back. And as I mentioned a moment ago, many of us have wasted time, but also many of us are slaves to time. And we're overbooked, we're overscheduled, we're overcommitted, we're overworked, and we don't have time for the things that really maybe should matter, and the things that probably do matter. And we're just living life in the fast lane, and we're really missing the things that make life really worthwhile, that gives matter to life, or that gives substance to the life that we live. And so God tells us in His Word that we're to treasure time as a valuable commodity. And God says every day is precious. In fact, the Bible says, teach us to number our days. When we talk about how, Jeffrey here, he had a birthday today, and so we go by what? Years. How old are you? 22 years. We don't say I'm 4,822 days or whatever it might be, 22 years is. But we don't say how many days we are. But God says what? Teach us. It doesn't come natural. We have to learn. Teach us to what? Number our days. The Bible talks about 80 years and 10. That's 3 sections of 20 and 10. That's 70 years. And so that's about a lifespan that God puts in His Word. And so some get a little bit less than that. Some get some more than that. But that's sort of a ballpark we look at. And God said, I want you to number your days. And so the one thing you need to remember from today's message is this. It's going to be a question that you've got to ask yourself. And here's what it is. What are you more interested in? Are you more interested in counting your days or making your days count? And that's what I want to focus on today. Are you interested in counting your days or making your days count? And so this morning I've entitled the message, Embracing the Season of Time. And you'll see where I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Embracing the season of time. The season of time. And so have you ever slowed down enough to seriously reflect upon this topic of time? What does the word time mean to you? And have you ever really thought about your life in reference to time? We often use the term, if you knew you had 1 week to live, or if you knew you had, a certain period of time to live, and that was it. How would our life, how would our time, how would our choices, how would our decisions, what would we do differently if we knew that our time was within this parameter? And we realize the brevity of life. When we go to the cemeteries, and we'll see the tombstones there and the grave markers, and you'll see the day born, the year born, and you'll see the year of death, and then you'll see that dash, and that dash makes up life. And it's so quick. And that dash is such a quick part of each of our lives. We want to make sure that that dash is being lived in a way that pleases God. Now in the Bible, or in our language, we have one word to define time, and just one word. And it encompasses a lot of different areas of time. But in the Greek language, Old Testament is written in the Hebrew, and much of it, and then the New Testament much in Greek. There's 2 different words that are used to describe time, to be a little bit more specified or specific, or to be able to tune into it a little bit more clearly. And each of those words that are used for time the first word is the word chronos, Chronos, chronos. And the second word is kairos, Kairos. And Paul uses both of these words in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1, when he writes, but of the times, chronos, and the seasons, kairos, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. And so in that one verse, he uses the word chronos for time, and then uses the word kairos for seasons in that one verse, talking about that they're ordained of God. And they're both of them are very accurately translated time, but they're both very different in how they describe time. And so they do describe time by the word time, or by our understanding of time, but they're a little bit different in regards in the difference of what they have. We see in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 31, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. And so here again we see there's a season and there's a time. And so we often think of them being the same, but they're not. And so this morning the message is entitled Embracing the Season of Time, or the Seasons of Time. And so the word in our text this morning in Ephesians, redeeming the time, kairos. Redeeming the time, kairos, because the days are evil. Let me give you a few moments as we build this foundation on the first use of the word time in the Greek is the word chronos. Chronos. The Chronos, time. Chronos time is a duration of time that can be measured. It has a set value. A chronos. It's where we get the word chronology or chronologically. And so it's where we get chronos. And so it's a sequence of time. It's a duration of time, if you would. Chronos time is picking up the kids at 3, making dinner at 5, going to a meeting at 7. And when we say time, we usually refer to chronos time. What time is it? What time do I have to be there? Well, and so our use of that word is just, it's a second, it's the minutes, it's the hours, it's the days, the weeks, the months. That's when we look at the word chronos. It's that chronological, that sequential, that continuation of time that we get up in the morning, we just go through our routine, our rituals throughout the day. Chronos time is quantitative time. It's the amount of time that you're given in a given day. So a 24-hour day, that's a quantity of time. That's a measurement of time. You can measure it. You have the same amount of time that I have. I have the same quantity of time that you have. Each day we're given 24 hours. That 24 hours is a quantity, a measure, a value of time that God gives each and every one of us. And that's what we refer to when we talk about chronos. To keep up with chronos time, we wear things on our wrist, watch, or we have them in our pockets now with our phones. And so it keeps track of what? That's chronos time. What time is it? And so we're putting our time, our schedule, our to-do list, whatever it might be, that's in that chronos time. Do you know why it's called a watch? It's because it's the chronos time that's dictating what we're going by. It's 3 o'clock, it's 3:30, it's 4, so we're following it. Each day contains 86,400 seconds of time, which represents 1,440 minutes in every day. Now, when you break down life or time in minutes or hours or seconds, all of a sudden it seems like, wow, it's pretty fragile. It goes pretty quick. And you look at our lives, and whether we're in our 20s or in our 30s or in our 60s or 90s, like Sister Helen is back there, wherever we are in life, in the duration of life, we look at what? The chronos of time. The chronos of time, which is the duration of time that we have. A chronos time is found on our agendas, our calendars, our to-do list. Chronos times gives identifying labels to those measurement durations. Chronos times is driven by our very human-centered sets of values. We live in a chronos world, and so our world is governed by this. You got to be at work at this time. There's an appointment at this time. You got a doctor appointment here. We got this scheduled here. We got to go to the practice here, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and we got to eat at this time. Always got to get that in that time, right? Got to eat at this time, and so you get all these different things. So we live in a chronos world, but if that's the only basis of how we live life, is just checking off one more item on our agenda, one more item on our schedule, and getting it checked off when we're going through time and that level of chronos time, then you're going to live a very unfulfilled, unsatisfied, unproductive, and a non-honoring God life if we only live in that area of life. Now, we live in this world, and so that is a part of our life. And so we understand that this chronos part of our life is a real part, or chronos part is a real part of our life. But if it's the only part of our life, then we're going to really miss what God wants us to have as we look at this study of time. As we saw in Psalm 90, verse 12, teach us to number our days. And Jesus himself in John 11:9 says, are there not 12 hours in the day? And so God created the chronos time slot. He created that hours in which we live life and the days in which we live life. And so he says what? Teach us to number our days. And Jesus says, are there not 12 hours in the life, in the daytime? And so he gives us this chronos world that we live in. But another altogether different world for time is also used in Scripture, and that's the word kairos time. That's what I want to focus on today, is that we understand the first area of time. That's life. That's just everything we do. That's scheduled in and appointmented in and to-do list in. But kairos time cannot be measured by the ticking of the clock. Rather, it's measured by the beating of the heart. It's not measured by the ticking of the heart. Rather, it's measured by the beating of the heart. The definition of kairos time is when God steps into time and space and does something incredible in that kairos of time. God interjects, God steps in, God moves in, God makes his presence known in that chronos time, but God shows up at this kairos time that is such an important time. The Bible uses kairos time when referring to the time that God breaks into our ordinary time. When God breaks into our life in a given day, in a given time, in a given hour of our life, Kairos time conveys notions of an unboundedness of God's purposes intersecting and overruling this finite world of chronological time. That's what the Bible says. God knows no beginning and no end. God's not limited by time, chronos. A day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as a day. What's he saying? That's chronos time. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1,000 years. That's chronos time. But God's not what? Bound. He's not limited. He's not confined within the parameters of this that He created. He's not bound within that chronos time or that boundary of time that's there. We can't have Kairos time without Coronas time, but we can have Coronas time without Kairos time. And you can live life and miss what life's all about. And you can get all your stuff done and miss getting the most important things done in your life. You can live life and be busy and miss the most important things in life. So it's a part of this Chronos life, but it's this special part where God moves in as a part in a very special way. With Chronos time, we count our years, while with Kairos time, we make our years count. We count our years, but we make our years count. We spend so much energy trying to conquer Chronos time, to control it, that we often lose our sense of living in the present moment. We miss what we have now. We miss what God's made available to us now. We're so busy doing the next agenda, the next project, the next to-do list that we miss the moment of what God's allowing us to share and enjoy right now. And then we look back and we see the time that's passed and the years that have passed, the opportunities that are passed, and they're gone. And again, if we focus on that past, then we're discouraged and we're downtrodden and we're filled with guilt and regret. But we've got to realize in a Coronas world, God says, I want you to live a life that you seize the moment and you let God move into every part of that Coronas part, the everyday living part, your daily agenda, your day plan, your schedule, your routine, your to-do list, everything that makes up life, that you'd allow that part of your life to be able to enjoy this most important part of what life is all about. And so think about it in this way as we look. Kairos time are those moments that are right, that are ripe, and that are rich. Think for a moment, Kairos time, that moment of those that are ripe. They fit in the rhythms of life as God intended. My mom enjoyed doing jigsaw puzzles with the grandkids. And she'd always often have a puzzle out. And then when the kids would go over there, they would continue where they left off. And she wouldn't do it unless the kids were coming over, and she'd save it for them. And it would be laid out. She had the little roll-up thing on the table there. And so she would do it, and the kids would look forward to going there. But like that puzzle piece, every little piece of the puzzle had a slot, had a place that it was to fit into. You couldn't force it any other place in that area. And so when we try to control the Coronas part of life, and we try to force things in, but when it's a Kairos time, it's a right time, it's a perfect time. Each piece will fit where it was made to fit, where it was made for. It's right there. Kairos time never contradicts God's design or God's purpose. It always fits perfectly, because God says everything is perfect in what? His time. His time. And I can force my time. I can try to manipulate God's time. But everything is wonderful and beautiful when it's within the parameters and the unboundedness of God's time. And we're able to enjoy it in a whole different dimension. We see not only is it a right thing, Kairos time is also a moment of rightness. There are moments designed and prepared by God just for you as His child. Have you ever read something and in reading that something, it was just what you needed that moment of time? Have you ever someone sent you a text or maybe a letter in the mail or a phone call or a voice message or an email, and it was just the right words at the right time? It was ripe. And it was right when you needed it. And you needed that visit. You needed that phone call. You needed that pat on the back. You needed that word of encouragement. You needed that, I'm praying for you. You needed, I was just thinking about you. Or that gift in the mail just because someone sent it to you. And so that was that Kairos. It was right. It was just what you needed. and God knew and stepped into your Kairos time. He stepped into the business of our life and interjected. But it's not only right and right, but we also say that it's also it's a rich meaning that God has. It's a sort of like a light bulb goes off. It's a clarity takes place. There are discovery moments that define and redefine us and shape and reshape us, that form and transform us. Only happen in this Kairos time. It's those moments provided by God to know God more deeply, to understand God's love more specifically, to understand how much God cares about you more personally. It's where He just moves in and does something with your life. Kairos time is about seeing the opportunity God provides in that moment. Corona's time drains your life and hope out of us, while Kairos time enriches our lives with hope and love and grace. And so with these differences, the question then is this: will you live on Corona's time or you live on Kairos time? Will you live on how life wants you to live life, how the world wants you to live life? You got to punch a clock, got to do this, next on your schedule, next on your agenda, next on your to-do list? Or are you going to let God take you as you live in a Corona's world, allow God to move in and let there be moments where God does something within the Corona's amount of time, but He shows up in a Kairos time and makes that moment a very special moment in your time. He just allows that time to be unique and special. And so what matters with Kairos time isn't whether something fits into my schedule. What matters is what matters. Well, it just doesn't really fit within my schedule. I'd really like to, but I just don't really have Corona's time. I'd really like to do a little bit of that, but I just don't have the time to do that. It's a bother. It's an inconvenience. It's something that's going to get me out of my routine. It's something that's going to get me off my schedule. It's something that's going to cause me to get maybe behind on something. Coronas. It's going to be something that allows me not to stay on schedule. And God brings opportunities across our lives through relationships and family and friends, and opportunities to serve God, where we can have moments that are special and cherished, but we don't allow it to interfere with our schedule, our agenda, what we've got planned for our day, what we got in our to-do list to get checked off the schedule. In Kairos time, minutes aren't the measure of the value of our acts. The things we do, rather, grant value to the minutes that are taken. Chronos is a quantity of time. How much time? Kairos is a quality time. Kairos time speaks of a quality of life that sees ourselves and others in the world as significant and worthy of our time and attention and energy and resources. When you get so busy with time that people become an inconvenient, when you get so busy with time that taking time out of your schedule to give some kindness and some care and some attention and some love is more important than your time, then you're living life missing the important value of what time is all about. It's not Kairos. It's this other type of time that God says is what gives meaning and purpose for every season and for every time. God says, are you embracing the season that's within time? God's created time. But within that creation of time, God is giving us opportunities to be able to have seasons of memories that we can build and they can never be taken away from you. Opportunities to share with someone of value and significance in your life. And yes, it may inconvenience you. And yes, you may get behind your schedule. And maybe you got put off a to-do list. But you're doing what's important with people that are important to you. And so much of our life is neglecting the Kairos time because we're so enslaved and controlled by the Coronas time. We're so, I got this, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that, I got this, I got that. And we're so busy, we're missing the true essence of what time or life is all about. You see, Kairos time reveals and expresses quality moments that first changes us, and then it changes your surroundings. I wonder, how long's it been since you've had some quality moments with the time that God's given to you. I'm not just talking about quality moments with God. Those are very important. I'm talking about quality moments with time that God gives you. You see, you can't get back time, and you can't get back the moments that were wrapped within that time. But if you have moments that are wrapped in that time, though you can never get back time, you'll never let go of the moments that you took within the parameter of time to establish there's a moment we're going to share. There's something that's very special. What are you more interested in, counting your days or making your days count? Every one of us face multiple defining moments in our lifetime. Defining moments are the moments that will shape and determine your character, your attitude, your altitude of perspective of life, and your future. Defining moments changes your future course by changing how you see your life. You see, defining moments happen in both Chronos time and Kairos time. But defining moments that will transform your life into marks of no regret is lives that are what? In that Kairos time. That, listen, I can't get so busy that I miss the opportunities, I miss the moments that I have in this Chronos of time. And if I miss it, I can never get it back. And so, yes, I can look back at all the moments that have been missed, all the opportunities, redeeming the time. That's what it's all about. Don't miss the moments within time. Don't miss the opportunities within time. Don't miss the Kairos part of living life. Don't get so locked down on minutes and days and months and weeks and hours and years. And don't get locked down within time that you miss the moments of time. You miss the moments, the Kairos time that's there. You see, as you look at this thought of Kairos time does not wait for you to fit it into your schedule. It simply happens, and if you miss it, it's gone and it won't come back. They're often spontaneous. They're often not planned and prepared, but the opportunity shows up, and if you're not willing to inconvenience your schedule, inconvenience your life, you may miss the moments that you could have had or that God wants you to have with the people in your lives that God has blessed you with. Kairos moments. Kairos moments happen one at a time. This is what makes them so priceless. The decision you make today about time is a decision only you can make. Doesn't mean that there will be no more Kairos moments if you missed those Kairos moments in your life, but you'll never get that opportunity back again. But there'll be more if you don't miss those. Let me give you a couple examples. Perhaps it's spending a special moment of time, spontaneous time, to go on a date with your wife, fellas. You don't have the time, but you make a Kairos moment. You know, I'm off work a little bit. I got off early a little bit today, and we're already out and about shopping. We're doing some errands already. We just finished up at the doctor point. We're doing this. We had this over here. And hey, how about let's just go get a bite to eat? It wasn't planned. It wasn't scheduled. Wasn't on the agenda. Wasn't on the to-do list. You're taking the what? Coronas of time, and you're making a moment. You're making a memory. You're making something that's going to last. And so many of us, we've missed the memories of time. We've missed the moments of time. And God said, I don't want you to go back and build a heart of regret and guilt. I want you from today forward to look at life from a different perspective, to look at time from a different viewpoint. And don't just see time as another day, another week, another month. Look within every day for a moment, a time that you can share with someone you care, with someone you love, with someone that needs some help, that someone needs some encouragement. Take a moment and allow that to inconvenience your life, to transform a life. It'll transform your life by taking the moment, because that's what makes life worth living, is when you live life for the purpose of what? Not allowing your schedule, time in the world to control you from living life within the Kairos world. What time frame are you on? We have all kinds of different time so you're starting on the West Coast, and we've got our time, and you go out a little further, and they're an hour out in front of us, and you go a little bit further, and they're a couple hours out. And if I called Gabon, Africa, when I coordinate with Brother Fisa, I mean, it's like a 9 or 10 hour difference, and maybe some of you from different countries there. I mean, the time difference is way out there, and look, there's all kinds of time differences we have. Listen, we want to make sure we don't miss God's time schedule and say, listen, here's what life is all about. Here's what life's all about. Maybe mom and dad is spending time with your kids, going on a walk. Maybe taking them fishing. Maybe playing catch with them. Maybe just going and getting ice cream with them. It wasn't planned. It wasn't scheduled. But just because you want a moment to be made. You want a memory to be made. Some of us have been married for years, but you have just a few memories. It used to have a life filled with memories. And I've been married 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. But listen, life is not measured in the chronos years of life to where you've lived so many years together in marriage. It's about the moments that you've shared and the moments of time that you've been able to enjoy together as a couple and living your life in the moments of time and not allowing life and time to enslave us and captivate us, to keep us from really enjoying the memories, the moments that make up life. So mom and dad, maybe it's just some of that kairos of time or that kairos of time that's needed for your kids. Just some time to be with them. Maybe it's giving your mom or dad a phone call, drop them by the house just because. Well, I don't have time. Yeah, but that's a memory opportunity. That's a moment of memories you can have. In this coronas of time, you can have a kairos of time. And some of you have the privilege of having your parents here in town or nearby, and you haven't dropped by in months, and you haven't given a call in months, and you've missed the coronas of time, and you've not enjoyed the kairos of time, and look at it, days and opportunities and moments that you can have a memory. You've missed it. And you wonder why your life is so unfulfilled. You wonder why our lives are so dissatisfied. You wonder why life is so empty. Because we're living a Coronis life in a Coronis world. And we're missing the kairos of what life's all about. Amen. Maybe it's a grandparent picking up their grandkids from school to spend the afternoon with them. Just because. Not because it's on your agenda. Not because it's on your schedule, not because it's on your to-do list, but just because. Hey, Grandma, what are you doing here? Grandpa, what are you doing here? Picking me up. Oh, I thought we just sort of have a day together today. I'd get you at school, and I thought we'd go maybe and go to the park a little bit, maybe get a little snack or a little ice cream or something, and I just wanted to spend some time with you a little bit. And boy, you talk about the coronas of time. All right, you're living life, a day, a month, a year. Here life goes on, and the years pass. Oh, but the kairos of time is that grandma and that grandpa saying, you know what? I'm just going to, just because, I'm going to go pick up the grandkids. I want to spend some time with the grandkids. I want to go do some things with them. Why? Because I want to build a moment, a memory that can never be taken away. Though a life can be taken away, and I've done many funerals at cemetery and memorial services, and the life has been taken from us, but the memories that were shared that you had with that individual can never be taken away from you. But God help those that have not taken the time to have memories that when you're gone, there are no memories even to hold on to that you could hold on to, because the person's gone and the memories that could have been weren't, because we took for granted. We were negligent. We were enslaved by the Coronis world. Time. I'm busy. I got a schedule. I got stuff to do. I'm behind the eight ball. I got to get this done and this done and this done. And to inconvenience ourselves to do something that would be caring or kind for someone else. Maybe it's just sitting outside on the patio furniture to spend some time with your spouse. Maybe just turn off the television for the night and just going outside on the patio and just sitting together and visiting together, sipping a soda together, or maybe roasting some marshmallows on a fire pit together, just out in the patio, just together outside. It wasn't planned, wasn't scheduled, wasn't on your to-do list. It really is past your bedtime. You ought to be in bed by now. But you know what? You're going to inconvenience yourself. Why? Here's a memory. I don't know how long I'm going to have my wife. I don't know how long I'm going to have my dad. I don't know how I'm going to have my husband. I don't want to miss the time and the coronas of time and miss the memories that can be built and memories that I can have to share for years to go, for years to come, based upon me maximizing the moments of every day. The moments of every day. Maybe it's taking the time to hang out with your siblings. Just because you want to. Hey, what's the occasion? What are you hanging out here for? What are you coming by talking to me for? Why do you want to spend time with me? I want to. Just because. Just because I love you. It's taking the time, but it's also recognizing the moments within that time. For every season and time. For every season and time. I understand the time part of it. We're all good at that. We've got our day planners. We got our schedule. We got phones now, but we can really keep organized. And we've got everything down to the nitty-gritty. And we've got it all organized. Oh, but may I say, don't get so enslaved and don't get so in bondage to the schedule of this worldly time that you miss out on the opportunities that you can build some lasting memories and some lasting moments and some precious memories that can never be taken away from you. But it'll always be there to hold so close to your heart. I think of Brother Martinez and the recent loss of his dear wife. Many years suffering, Brother Juan, a little wheelchair and dialysis 3 times a week, and always had a smile on her face. But there wasn't a time I ever saw her in the hospital that Brother Juan wasn't up there in the hospital with her. He wasn't just putting in time. He was looking at this as an opportunity. Did it inconvenience his schedule? Absolutely. Could he have been doing something else? Certainly. Was it a bother? I'm sure but this was a moment that he wasn't going to miss. He wasn't going to miss this moment, season in time. And he spent many, many moments in where he knew not what time limit he would have. But God blessed him with bonus years, many years we talked about, even at the service, where God blessed him. Just memories of moments. Now again, we can walk out of here and be really discouraged because we look back at our lives from here back and say, wow, I wish I would have heard that 10 years ago. Wish I would have heard that before my dad died or my mom died or got this or that. I wish I would have heard this a long time ago. And we can't do that. We don't want to go there. But from here forward, we've got to look at life from a different perspective. We have to look at life from a different viewpoint. Maybe it's putting your schedule on hold in order to spend some time with a family member. Maybe it's inconveniencing your to-do list to do something with someone you care about. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. He said it all depends on the one thing you need to remember. Are you more interested in counting your days or making your days count? You've only got one life to live. I've only got one life to live. And I've only given the same amount of time that you're given in a given day. But you'll find fulfillment, or I'll find fulfillment, on how proactive I am in regards to allowing the kairos of time to take control of the coronas of time and not allow the chronological days of my schedule. I go, busy. And we're so busy. We don't have time for God. We don't have time for each other. We don't have time for those that care about it. We intend to. We plan to. We're going to get around to it. Our intentions are good. But another day turns to another month, to another year, to another 10 years, to another, and it's not been done. It's a grandma and a grandpa welch inconveniencing themselves in the winter months to leave with the snow in the pass and a Christmas program for their grandkids over the mountain. Get in their car, and to brave the weather to inconvenience themselves and go sit in the audience and watch the little grandkids just stand there as a prop in some area or to be the keynote singer or whatever it might be. But Grandma and Grandpa's there. That's a memory. That's a kairos of time. Here's an opportunity that's available to you. It's a grandma and a grandpa that I saw this last week that went to a ball game, watched one of the kids, and their grandma and grandpa. They got their chairs and they got all their gear, and there they are cheering on their grandson in baseball. Watch him in the game, take him to practice, and being in the grandstands and being in the bleachers, watching. Could there have been other things they got to do? They got things they got to do. They got busy schedules. They got other things that could have kept them preoccupied. They says, we're putting everything on hold because this is a moment we don't want to. My mom, of course, has been gone now almost 4 years. June will be 4 years, hard to believe. But she was the type of person that she would put everything on hold for a moment. She was not controlled by time. She wasn't controlled by time. She allowed every bit of moment. She could be at the church, and if any of the grandkids wanted to go do something or go to her house and spend the night or do whatever, she'd say, well, I'd check with my boss. I'm her boss. I'd check with my boss, see if it's okay for me to skip work for a couple of days to stay with the grandkids. And I think my boss will let me stay, keep the grandkids. And she said, Rand, would it be okay if I said, sure, Mom, that would be great. Have a great time. She would put everything on hold, everything on pause. Everything was on stop when it came to her grandkids. Why? Because she says, these are moments I don't want to miss. I don't know if she missed many of them, but she made sure there was going to be moments that those grandkids, even today, now as adult children, adult grandchildren, of course she's been gone now these many years, but now even as adult children, they cherish the moments. Grandma, Grandpa, if you're one today, they cherish the moments that they had with their grandma, the memories that they were able to share together. Now, Grandma's not here. Grandma's gone. Grandma's in heaven, and we rejoice on her behalf, but the memories are still real close. The girls still have pictures on their collages or whatever they've got of memories. Maybe girls are more in tune to that than we are. We're not as much picture guys as girls are. Girls are like click, 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 click. They're clicking all the time. And us guys, one picture is good enough, and we're all right. But they've got a collages of pictures that define what? Memories. Memories. I have a picture there. And they all have a special story behind the memory. And I'll go in each of their rooms. There's a picture here. They'll have them and their grandmother, or them and me, or them and their brother, or them and their mom, or what. And they've got all these different pictures. But they've chosen those pictures because there's a special memory attached to that picture. Special memory. You got that around Jeffrey's neck there. Let me use that a sec, Jeffrey. That all right there? And how many years has it been, Jeff?
You did his funeral 20 years ago.
20 years ago. I did his funeral 20 years ago. And he was 21 years old. And so 20 years ago, he got saved. And good young man, little Richie, and your younger brother, right? Younger brother. And got saved. The young boy was a good wrestler over at Sparks High School. I went and saw him wrestle. Yeah, my dad went up there too. And watched him there in the gymnasium. And but this picture is a reminder of your brother. But this picture is more than that because it's all the memories that are attached that you had with that brother. It's a memory. And we can't bring back those that are gone. We can't do it. But I'm here for us forward. There's some of you that have your grandparents, your parents, and you need to be using what time you have to build some memories. Because your mom's not always going to be around. She came to church with you, Drew, and that was special, and she's working and such a sweet lady. But you better not neglect your mom. You better make sure, well, mom will always be around. She's healthy. She's good. She's this. Yeah, praise the Lord. Thank the Lord. Oh, that's wonderful. But every day, God gives you opportunities for a memory. You know, for years, I was just started in high school. But every year, Mom and I, we would make an outing and go Christmas shopping. That was our day. We had a lot of different outings we did. We established our own different little memory moments that we would do on a regular occasion. And this was one of our highlights for the year. And we'd go out, and we loved when it snowed on that day, and we made a big day of it. And we'd go out, and I did all the way up until she passed away. And we'd go out, and my dad would say, all right, we'll have a good, he didn't like shopping and stuff, but he paid for it, so that was good. So, and it's good, all dads do, pay for the shopping. And so we'd go out, I'd pick her up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we'd shop till lunchtime, and then I'd take her out for lunch, and we'd go to a special place and go on a date, and then we'd go shopping until late at night and come back all the time, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and in the evening. And that was a special memory that my mom and I have had all those years. Those are moments that I can't go back to do because the time is gone. The Corona's time is gone. She's not with us. But I'm sure glad I didn't miss and allow the Coronas of time to cause me to miss the opportunities for moments within the Coronas of time to establish some memories that were real special. Real special. I can't think of a game that I played. I played a lot of sports. I can't think of a game that I played where my mom and dad weren't in the bleachers. And my mom kept stats. She was a stat person. And she kept all the stats. So I was playing basketball, how many fouls for a game, how many shots, how many assists. She did it all. I got boxes of all my scrapbook stuff that's still in a box, and I tell the kids, there's your dad right there. I was a great athlete. There it is in a box, And so all the clippings and things. And so, but she was there. And those memories, my dad there in the bleachers, my mom there in the stands, oftentimes driving us to a ball game and ballpark or whatever it was, and just special memories. And then serving God together, great memories. It was a family thing. It was something when we served God together. We soul wined together, and we sang together and did church together and did all. It was taking the Coronas of time and making it a memory of time. In your life today, with the people in your lives today, not the ones that you can't go back to, but the ones from here forward. Some of you have your mom and dads. But it's been a long time that you've just called them just because. Not because you needed money, not because you needed help, but just because. You're taking a moment within time and say, I'm going to inconvenience myself. I'm going to drive out of my way to go spend a moment, a memory. You'll never regret it when you've done it, but you will regret it when you don't do it. When you didn't do it, you will regret it. But you'll never be upset with yourself because you took and inconvenienced your life and your schedule and your to-do list to do something that sort of inconvenienced you and got you out of your comfort zone. You'll always be glad. You'll say, man, I'm sure glad I did that. The last year of Larissa's year at college was the coronavirus, and the college was a little bit different, and so she did a lot of it online. And so she ended up staying home that semester. And of course, she made the sacrifice of her friends in college, and that part of her life, and she stayed home for that few months. Well, that was the months that would be the last few months of her grandma. Of course, we didn't know that at the time. But looking back, she'll say, Dad, I really didn't want to stay home that semester. But, God knew. And I stayed home that semester, and I was able to spend some time, Corona, that built some memories, Kairos, with Grandma. They called her Granny, and with Grandma. And I just built some time, and really, God was so good because those are memories that can never be taken away. Never be taken away. And so, as a brother to a sister and other brothers, to a sister to your sisters and brothers, as a parent to your children, as your kids to your parents, as a grandchild to your grandparents, as a grandparent to your grandchild, as family members. Listen, let's not allow time to be so busy that we don't have opportunity, redeeming the opportunities for a memory, for a moment. Redeeming not just time. All right, I got to learn how to schedule my time, budget my time. I got to schedule my time, redeem the time. No, he's saying there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. Now, you can live your life just going to the next time, chronologically, sequential. All right, I got to do this tomorrow, got to do that tomorrow, got to do this. But throughout life, throughout time, there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be spontaneous opportunities where you can take a moment just because. No reason, no schedule. And you show up and say, hey, let's go do this. Oh, I'm busy. I'd like to, but I don't have time. Wow. You missed an opportunity. You missed it. You missed a moment. It was there, and you missed it. Life is fragile. Life is brief. It goes real quick. As a parent with kids, make memories with your kids. Make memories with your kids. As a grandparent that's able to interact with your grandkids, make memories with your grandkids. Make memories with your grandkids. As a child to your parents, make memories with them. Make memories. If you see mom work in the kitchen, go in make that time and make it a memory. You see dad working in the yard, mowing the lawn or pulling weeds or doing some projects in the garage, work on the car, then put away your Nintendo and your games and take that time and make a memory. Spend some time with your dad. You see an event taking place and you're focused and consumed on one thing, walk away from that and say, here's an opportunity for a memory, a moment, a time. It is important. It will be remembered. Grandma coming down, Audra's mom coming down from Fallon to come to church with her kids. She told me a couple of weeks, she says, maybe I've been wanting to go to church with my kids. Maybe I can come down every now and again, and together we can go to church. Make a day of it. Together we can go to church. Is there a second, third time coming down to church? Is it an inconvenience? Sure. Is it a few extra miles? Sure. Is it? Yeah. But you know what she says? There's going to be some memories. And look at, you got most of them sitting. You got 4 sitting there and 1 sleeping here. All right. So that's about how it goes there. And so, but you got memories that we're building, Today forward, here's a message. I'm done. As we look at your life, I challenge us today, as you move through the next several weeks of your life, in the business of life that threatens to overwhelm you and overtake you, look for those kairos moments. Kairos moments. Take note of them. Be aware of them. Such awareness over time may take more room for kairos in your life. At the end of the day, try to write down in a sentence or two, maybe a kairos moment you had that day. Begin to look at a pattern of what those moments look like for you, how maybe they make you feel, and how they make room in the coronas of time of your life. We live in a world of clocks and calendars, timestamps, and deadlines. You can't get away from that life, the coronas time. You can't get away from it. But Cronus and Kairos can't exist side by side if we look for holy moments, even in the midst of everyday happenings. Look for the Kairos times, the time when God says, this would be a good time to spend. This would be a good time to make a call. This would be a good time to put aside your schedule to do something with them. This might be a good time to do that. Might be important. Stay awake. Watch for the seasons. Count your hours, sure. But more importantly, make the hours count. Make the hours count. And so each of us today, God's putting people on our hearts that you've been neglecting for a while. Because not because you don't love them, not because you don't care about them. You're busy. They're busy. Is that a good thing? No, it's not. You need to inconvenience and step outside of your day planner and say, hey, I was thinking, how about us getting together for lunch this week? What day works for you? Hey, I was thinking we could, how about it? Well, yeah, I'd like to, but I'm real busy, and you can't force it. I understand that. And sometimes the other person isn't quite in tune to what you're trying to do, and that's all right. But as you look for these opportunities and they're there, hey, we're out and about anyway. Why don't we go and get a little something? I've never been there before. I never tried that before. Let's do that. Hey, let's go on a walk. We used to have a thing we do, a lot of different memories that we've had with the kids over the years, and I'm certainly thankful and cherish those memories, special moments that we've been able to share as a family. But we used to go down by Mayberry Park, down a little bit further in that area. We'd go on a bear hike. And the kids were real little at that time. Of course, there's no bears there, but they didn't know that. And I'd say, we're going on a bear hike. A bear hike, Dad? Yeah, we're going on a bear hike. We got to stay close to Dad because you don't know if a bear is going to come out along the river. And boy, they'd stay close to Dad and just little guys, and they'd be tagging along, and stuff. And we'd go down on the bridge there where McCarran goes over the freeway, and even the other spot, Mayberry Bridge. And we go hiking down there, looking at the bear hike. And even years later, we said, all right, Dad, let's go on a bear hike. You want to go on a bear hike? Yeah, let's go on a bear hike. Well, I thought that was when you were little. Now I want to go on a bear hike. All right, I'm ready to go on a bear hike. And so we'd take them even as they got a little older. And, of course, they got their pets now or whatever else and bring their dogs. Right? And so we go on a bear hike. And it wasn't a bear hunt. It was just time to be able to spend together. It was just some memories that we're able to share, just hanging out together, just spending some time together. It didn't matter really what it was, but it was taking what we were doing and making a moment out of it. Never becoming so busy or so distracted or so overwhelmed that we didn't have time to make a memory out of that time. That was one reason we purchased a jet ski. We were able to get a used jet ski when the kids were younger. And not because, we wanted to have, fancy jet ski, but that was a great moments that we could have for time. And we spent a lot of time at Boca and Stampede, mostly Boca, but out in that area. And boy, we'd go out there and make an afternoon of it, go in the mornings when the lake was calm and make a picnic lunch and things, and just make it a moment. Make it a time that became a moment. When the kids were young, we started off with a swim pool. We got the round pool that was 8 feet wide, eight circled Walmart pool, got to a 12 size. And of course, we, all of us in there sort of overflowing the waters a little bit, and got a little bit longer one, got a 30-foot by 15-foot, oblong, partially in the ground, above ground. And we've had those for years, and just moments. Hey, Dad, you want to go swimming? Yeah, I'll go swimming. Sure, I won't miss a moment. If you want to go, I'll go. If you want to do it, I'll do it. Well, that's a moment. That's a moment of time. Even today, I'll come down around the church. Brother Nathan does so many different projects around the church and different things that he does. He'll say, hey, Dad, let me show you what I did. I said, okay. I'm maybe working on a message, or I'm doing some other stuff. I'll stop, I'll drop whatever, and I'll say, this is a moment. I'm going to go look at what he's done or what he's built or what he's destroyed or what he's broken or whatever the thing is, and I'll take that time, and that time is a special, cherished moment. It may be 10, 15 minutes, maybe a half hour or more, but it's a moment of looking what he's done. It really doesn't matter what he did. It's a moment we're able to spend together and looking at what he did, but that's just sort of an excuse to get together. Just moments. Just moments. And I understand we get different lifestyles, and we get our families, and we go different ways, and we've got other things, priorities and things in our life. And that's all, I understand all of that. But let's make sure that we don't miss Don't miss the moments you have, because you may not always have the time. You may not always have the Chronos time to be able to do the Kairos moments. Oh, I wish I had some more time. It's gone. It's gone. But you got time today. And we've got time here forward. And so with your kids, with your spouse, with your parents, with your grandkids, with your grandparents, with your siblings, with your God, obviously, and we've not talked about God, but obviously He's on the top of the list. But all of these areas, let's make a moment, a memory. You'll never regret it. You'll have regretted not making moments in your time, but you'll never regret having made moments in your time. Thank you, Father, for this morning. We thank you for the dear people of God.